Hello people of YouTube, it's Mike's Ultimatum here, and I'm going to do an EDH deck tech for you. This, of course, should be much better than my last EDH deck, which was a first attempt. This one's actually pretty thought out. I put some time into it, and I recently got the materials. This is why I put together this particular general. With no further ado, here it is. Okay, everybody, so here's the general that I chose for this deck. Jor Kadeen the Prevailer. Costs 1 red, 1 white, 3 other. He has first strike, he's a 5/4, and he has Metalcraft. As long as you control 3 or more artifacts, creatures you control get +3/+0. And I decided to build this kind of Tron. I have Sword of Body and Mind, Sword of Feast and Famine, Sword of War and Peace, a lot of equipments in here, Sword of Fire and Ice, Sword of Light and Shadow, Helm of Kaldra, Sword of Kaldra, and Shield of Kaldra work very well together. Basilisk Collar, 1 to put down, 2 to equip, Death Touch and Lifelink. Lifelink always a good thing. Skull Clamp, everyone knows it. Lightning Greaves, Swiftfoot Boots, a Quietus Spike. Move the camera back here a little bit so we can see a little more of the card. Quietus Spike, a Loxodon Warhammer, Argentum Armor. Get to destroy a permanent with that card, pretty great. Stoneforge Mystic tutors up one of these equipments. A lot of the time you'll be tutoring one of the swords to counteract whatever deck you're playing against. Mirren Crusader, pro black and green, and it has double strike. Great once you have your commander on the field, because then it's a basically 5/3 double strike. So you can take out a lot of things. Chomana Revolutionary, prevent all damage dealt to him. So he's 5/2. That gives all damage prevented to him when you have a commander out. Restoration Angel. She brings back. She has flash, and when she comes into play, you return a creature you control to its owner's hand. Protects a lot of your bigger things from getting destroyed. Pentarch Paladin. This is good no matter what you're playing against, because you choose a color, you destroy permanents of the color. It's pretty straightforward. Blinding Angel. If your opponent doesn't have a lot of flying, this can keep them in a lock. Keeps dealing damage to them, they can't have combat phases. This one I've proxied. It's a Stonehewer Giant. For 1 and a white, you can tap it, search your library for an equipment, put it into play, and attach it to a creature. Yosai the Morning Star, pretty great card. Your opponent skips their untap phase when he dies. There's some decks that have a great combo with that. My Tesa deck does. Sun Titan, great. Swords to Plowshares for a little removal. Also Path to Exile. Oblivion Ring, we all know, is in my opinion, the greatest white removal. Mobilization is a big card in here. For 1 white, 2 other, you can put a 1/1 white soldier token into play, with your commander out and 3 artifacts in play, they become 4/1 tokens. So for 3 mana, you can pump out another 4/1 token. Really powerful. White Sun Zenith, it makes tokens like that, and you can play it again and again. Wrath of God, a board sweeper. Every deck should have them. Day of Judgment, again, board sweeping. Terminus, my 3rd and last board sweeper. Dragon Master Outcast. When you control enough lands, you keep putting 5/5 dragon tokens into play, which then get pumped by your commander. But if you have 5/5 dragon tokens every turn, they get down pretty fast. Chandra's Phoenix, I don't have a lot of red instants or sorceries in the deck to use her ability, but it's a 2/2 flyer for 3 with haste, works well with the commander. Dwarven Miner, this is my land control. If someone has a land that's getting out of hand, or a few of them, Dwarven Miner can get rid of them. Lord of Shatterskull Pass. Nothing better than attacking with your army of tiny tokens that get pumped by your commander, and when he attacks with them, dealing 6 damage to all their creatures, almost entirely wiping, if not wiping out completely their board before all your things hit. That's a kill. Shivan Wumpus is a 6/6 for 4 that keeps coming back unless your opponent sacrifices all their lands, and it has trample. It's an awesome card. Ryusei the Fallen Star. There we go. And when it goes to a graveyard from play, deals 5 damage to each creature without flying. Great control. Kamal Pitfighter. He's a 6/1 for 6 beat stick with haste, and he has tap to do 3 damage to target creature or player. That's the ability that you're going to use a lot. Furyborn Hellkite. It costs 7 mana. It's a 6/6 with flying, but I put it in here because it has Bloodthirst 6. If you deal damage, it comes into play as a 12/12. Lightning Bolt. Standard red spell. Really like it. Devil's Play. It's like a blaze with flashback, which I like. Boom and Bust. Boom destroys one of your lands and one of your opponent's lands, and Bust destroy all lands for 6 mana. This is if things are really going your way or they're getting really out of control. Usually it's to take out certain lands. We have a Reverberate. Copies a lot of useful things in EDH. Brian Stoutarm. He can fling that 12/12 and get lifelink from it. He can fling a lot of things in this deck. Plus your tokens. Like I said, with mobilization, you're getting 4/1 tokens. Brian Stoutarm can fling one directly at your opponent for 4 damage for lifelink. That's amazing. Gazella. Now, you can't read her, but the main thing about her is she reduces the damage dealt to you by half and doubles the damage dealt to your opponent. She's an amazing creature. Steel Hellkite. Now we're getting into the artifacts besides the equipment that count toward the metal craft for your general. Steel Hellkite is a massive beat stick, big flying beat stick that destroys your opponent's creatures, so he's great. Worm Coil Engine, no explanation needed on how awesome that is. Kozilek, Butcher of Truth. I do have plenty of mana ramp in here, so getting him out is a possibility, and he's amazing. Willamog, the Infinite Gyre, the same way. These two are pretty much a win when you get them out. Chimeric Mass. You can pump a lot of mana into him. He avoids wrath effects. I put Chimeric Mass in pretty much every deck I ever build. Soul Ring, your standard mana ramp. Needed in every deck, I don't care what anyone says. Sensei's Divining Top, the second of the 2 cards that I say should be in every deck. Expedition Map. Expedition Map searches any land in your deck. There's a few lands, special lands in here that I search up with that. Grim Monolith. You can't see because the kind of fuzzy. Let's see if I can adjust that. Well, maybe I can't. Anyway, Grim Monolith. It costs 2, it taps for 3 colorless mana, and for 4 you can untap it. Good mana ramp. Next, Boros Signet. One of the old Signet that taps for red and white. Signets are good mana ramp if you have 2 or 3 colored decks. A Basalt Monolith. Kind of like the Grim Monolith, only costs 3, taps for 3, and you can untap it for 3. Darksteel Ingot, costs 3, it's indestructible, you tap it for any color. Another one that I put in any color, any deck of mine that has more than 1 color. Mind's Eye. Costs 5, whenever an opponent draws a card, you may pay 1 if you do draw a card. It's a great card draw artifact, especially in this deck, because red and white doesn't really have anything for card draw. Spinovish Saw. Now, if people are going to see that I'm playing a lot of artifacts, and right away with my general, which he has Metalcraft, they're going to say, oh, he's going to have a lot of artifacts. So they're going to try to save their mass artifact destruction. If this is destroyed, you destroy another permanent. Comes into play, destroys one. If they play a mass artifact removal, like Nevinral's Disc is a big one, you'll see. Then I get to destroy another permanent, probably a land or something useful of the person who played Nevinral's Disc. Karn Liberated, great colorless planeswalker. He can reset an EDH game and give you a huge advantage. Now for the special lands I run, Command Tower needs to be in every 2+ colored EDH deck. Terramorphic Expanse, just to tutor what color I need. Homeward Path, in case my creatures get taken. Reliquary Tower, in case I actually draw enough with Mind's Eye for that to be useful. Doubtful, but Strip Mine for land removal. Myria the Sky Ruin, if I get enough planes out, this is a bomb. Rupture Spire, again, just any color mana. Vivid Meadow for the 2 mana. Urza's Factory. 7 mana is a bit of a high cost, but if you have that much mana out and you're not using it on anything else, then they're tokens that get the Metalcraft ability. Care Keep. This also produces tokens which can be pumped by your general. And for the last lands, we have Plains and Mountains, standard for the deck. There are 38 lands total in the deck. Alright, so everybody, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have fun with EDH as much fun as I have.